so we have Kyle, Joe, and David. Standard rules, and the multiple choice part will be after a certain amount of time. You know, we're not going to necessarily give them all a chance to guess, so keep on your toes, audience. And they gave us plenty of mag points, so I don't think I'll be throwing them, of course, so, you know, things like that. I thought about jumping around, like, if anyone happened to know it without even hearing the multiple choice, but just for the sake of experimentation, I think we're going to insist on that, because, you know, what is hard to one person might be incredibly easy to you guys, so don't, you know, blurt out the answers, don't raise your hand, don't eventually give them a chance. Okay, I think we're all set. So today's categories. Video games, geek movies, highly subjective definition, but I think, you know, anything that involves good amount of knowledge, you know. I'm not going to pull the fast one and claim, you know, the speed of a football or anything like that, even though that would probably be geeky knowledge. European. Yeah. American or European. Potpourri. Legend of Zelda. Sacrilege, people would say. You know, I could decide which one. Okay, so, and why don't we just start with, we'll go, you know, just because we're a little behind, we'll go left to right, like that if it's all right. So Kyle, will you please select first?
Okay, sure. I'll do Legend of Zelda for 200.
Actually, I don't think that's going to matter. Legend of Zelda for 200. This game was subtitled Triforce of the Gods in Japan. Kyle?
Link to the Past.
Woo! Yeah, sounds! Cooperate? I don't think it's even working, forget it. Let's see. Yep, see, you didn't even need it, so.
Yeah, I'm good.
Excellent. Let's see. Okay, Kyle, select again.
Alright, let's do Legend of Zelda for 400.
Cool. Alright.
Do you want someone else who's working?
Yeah, if you, oh well, here we are, perfect, yeah. Okay, yeah, I mean, that was the least important part, but thanks. So Kyle has 200, just like that. Kyle has 200, and we just did, what did you just select?
400 Zelda.
Alright. Let me just,
Are you good?
yeah, I think we're all set. This is the main villain's last name. Kyle? Okay, yes?
Dragmire.
It is Dragmire, so that is 400 points for David. See, I'm trying to have fun with this, but you can boo, you know, throw peanuts, whatever. Joe got it. Oh, I know, like I said, trying to involve the audience, the other ones. What is, besides the obvious one, I'm not going to fall for that one. You know, everyone knows the Lannister one. What is the third choice a reference to? What kind of mythology? Anybody recognize that name? See, I might not be thinking this through, but I thought I do want to get the audience on this.
I know that's Irish, but that's all I really know.
The other two are made-up words, but Connaught refers to a specific area in Celtic mythology. So.
He's Joe, not Dave. I'm Dave.
Oh, sorry. You got, so Joe, 400, and Kyle.
I think I knew it.
Okay, sorry, say your name again, I'll get it. Joe, second category. I actually realized, I just realized I got to time myself. Yeah, let's go for 35 minutes. I'll get through it all. Okay, say that again, please.
Legend of Zelda,
600. This game was originally the beginning of the timeline. Any guesses before we go to choices? Okay. No. Minus 600. Right. That's why, you know, it's up to you. You can try, or you can wait for the choices. You did raise your hand, so do you want to?
That was my guess, so I'm not.
Okay. You got minus 600. Okay, so of the choices now, so everybody buzzed in. So, oh yeah, you can still answer. So what's your choice?
Skyward Sword.
It is not Skyward Sword. Audience?
What is the Minish Cap?
It is the Minish Cap, yes. From 2006 to about 2011, it was considered to be the All right, so they both lost 600. And of course, like I said, I didn't think of it. What happens now? Oh yeah, it goes back to the original. Yours. Pick another one. Okay. Name another composer in the series other than Koji Kondo. Remember, it's up to you, but I do have the choices listed. So give it a try.
You can't imply.
Audience, anybody want to try and steal it? Anybody really a nerd? Okay. So these are the choices. Yoko Shimomura, Hajime Iwaki, poor pronunciations, Kenji Suzuki, Yuzo Koshiro, or Yatsuri Matsuda. First one. Any ideas, guys? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's try. How about you, sir?
Matsuda.
It is not Masuda. Do we have anybody else? Because I'd love to just give them all to you.
No, you're fine.
Back there? Shimomura, right? It is not Shimomura. Who is Shimomura? For another one, who is name a famous series from Shimomura? Who's Shimomura?
Final Fantasy?
No. Kingdom Hearts. Here's one for you, sir. Who else had their hands up? I'm trying to like catch everybody. Let's see. Just raise the hands again. We'll get another guess. This one. Suzuki. It is not Suzuki. Okay, so that's the last choice. It is Hajime Iwaki.
You should have gone with
Skyward Sword. And the main reason I put that person's name is because it was ambient for far too long. And say what you will about the Totalis battle, but I think that piece of music is awesome. It reminds me of some of the best orchestrations from like Link to the Past and stuff. So I think that person deserves recognition. Back to yeah. Zelda 1000. Not one of the creators. Now this is one of the ones where. Okay, now get your hands ready, and if you can also, I'll try my best. Ready? Yep.
Sargeras?
You said it wrong, but it's okay. You're right. Does he lose from pronouncing it wrong? I'm just kidding. It's Sargeras, but you got it. All right. Pretty easy, but then again, you got
Movies for 200.
Geek movies for 200. They played Shinzon, the villain, in Star Trek Nemesis. Shall we go to the... actually, this is... I'm trying to think. Because we got to keep it competitive, and I'm glad that you know it, but... what do you think about that? I think we should defer to that, you're right. As much as I know, I'm sure you know. Okay, hands ready, guys? Multiple choice. The top, well, you can see the names pretty well. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He was, you saw him, yes?
Tom Hardy.
And who is Tom Hardy that everybody should know?
He was bold.
You got it. Unfortunately, that movie was not successful, so it prolonged his alcoholism, but to be fair, it's not actually that bad of a movie. We probably just expected too much when it came out. And I enjoy it. You know, it's a little loosey-goosey, but he gives us typical AAA performances, even at, I think it was 21 when it was made. Okay, so back to
400.
Dave. Movie 400. Name of the giant robot in Pacific Rim. Obvious again, multiple choice. Okay. No, you got to chance in this. 5, 4, 3. Yes. It is not Wolf Echo. Minus 400 was it? Actually, go.
Line Patrol?
It is not Line.
I'm going to go ahead and make a guess.
Oh, yeah, then you can.
Panzer Dragoon.
It is not Panzer. Now, I'm not going to say where is Panzer Dragoon from.
MAGLabs.
What system was most of the Panzer Dragoon games on? Yes, here you are, sir. And now for the answer. Over here. It is Gypsy Dane.
We all lost.
Thank you. Okay. actual first name.
Oh.
I know this. Anyone to guess this first? Not audience, but I'll try to keep it honest. Okay, ready for the choices? Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What do you think? Why don't you pick someone from the audience? Because it seems like quite a lot of people know.
Henry.
It is Henry. Henry Jones Jr. All right.
Exactly.
Very nice.
I like that.
All right. So no guesses there. Back to you again. 800. Jesus. The fastest speed in space. Okay, choices. Actually, in this case, we'll go to the audience. Pick somebody.
Choices.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to like involve people, but you're right. Okay, guys.
We all know it.
Yeah. It is ludicrous speed. That was easy. Back to Kyle.
All right, let's do video games for 200.
They are the creator of Dark Souls. See, here's my half-assed attempt to try it. Anybody know, or should we go to choices first? All right. Hands ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. For 2 points, I want to know who it is and identify a series of at least one other person. Are some hands going to go down? Let's see. Okay, how about over here in the back? White shirt.
Is he talking about Miyazaki?
Okay, now who is at least one other person on that list and a series there?
Shigeru Miyamoto and Mario.
Excellent. All right. No guesses there. Okay, so Kyle again.
Let's do video games for 400.
Playing tried and true. This Final Fantasy has the characters of Terra. 6. Final Fantasy 6 it is. Okay, next video game 600.
I did, yeah.
What is this creature from? And what is it called? Excellent.
What was the answer?
The true horror there. Which game is the true horror there, audience? Shout out, sorry. I gotta go past it now, sorry. But that game is truly horrific, especially the fact that they expected us to spend $85 on it. That's the scary part. Yes, please do not, no shouting at answers in general, I'm sorry. Okay, back to you.
Video games.
This system is known as the Family Computer in Japan. Kyle?
NES.
Nintendo Entertainment System.
I own a Famicom!
I own an AV Famicom.
I own one of those as well.
Awesome.
And it's our cheap product.
Back to Kyle.
Alright, let's do let's do video games for 1,000.
Tried and true. This series was known as Dragon War in the U.S.
Dragon Quest.
It is Dragon Quest.
I played them!
Audience, what does... Let me see. What game series has a sword known as the Dark Dragon, or an antagonist? She's pretty quick now, so.
Ninja Gaiden.
Which one?
All 3?
No.
No!
Very good.
Sigma. Ninja Gaiden Sigma.
One of them close enough. 2 for that. That was good. Here you are. All right. What do you think of audience involvement so far? C minus? Thanks. Not good. Not bad. Thank you. Okay. I got better at this. Let's see. You. Was it you? Okay.
Okay, let's do Star Trek Star Wars for 200.
Sacrilege for 200. Luke Skywalker's last name in earlier drafts.
What?
9, 8, 7. Not idea at all, guys? Alright. Don't worry, audience, you'll get a chance. Okay. Go ahead, guys.
Oh, I know it is.
Raise your hands. 4, 3, 2, 1. Proto Man.
Star Killer.
It is Star Killer. Alrighty. I suck at this. Back to you.
Geek movies for 1,000.
Geek movies for 1,000. The name of the aliens. Anybody? Multiple choice? Anybody want to try? All right. Multiple choice. You guys ready? Does anybody want to guess? Okay. Audience, for 3, tell me who it is, and I want you to pronounce the name correctly of the third one. Is sure anybody want to do that? Those are the creatures from Predator. That's not as easy to pronounce as you might think. You want to try again? But first, what is the correct? What is the correct answer first?
I believe it's Hepatocons is the one in the movie.
Yep.
And Yakja.
No.
No.
Any other tries?
Heptapods and then octopods is the second one.
No. It was pronounced the third one correctly. Do you want to try?
Oh, the third one correctly?
That's like just additional challenge. You
The
know?
one that starts with a Y.
Yeah. Those are the aliens. Those are the aliens from the Predator films.
Yuja.
No.
Yagya?
No. Anybody else want to try? We got 3. One more, I think. Yep.
Yautja?
No. It is actually Iwaya. What? I was surprised too. But, all right. Nobody got that. I wasn't sure, and then I looked it up. Like, wow, that's a good one. Okay.
All right, I guess I can take it again. All right, let's do geek music for 200.
All right, now this card. I think it's fairly loud when I tested it, but it's very important to be quiet. And please don't shout on answers. This game series. My laptop is betraying me. Oh.
What is 4 minutes and 13 seconds?
Wow.
I might have turned this to 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh shit, I don't think this.
You want to check your microphone settings?
Whispering somebody's ear.
Sing it.
This should matter.
Tell me what the answer is. We'll sing it.
This part shouldn't matter just because of the display. I mean, it works within the browser, so I guess I'm going to have to do this. Oh, you're right. It might be settings. Oh shit. Okay, what's the suggestion? It could be the microphone.
Change your audio.
It's playing out of iTunes. Oh, you think iTunes caused the conflict? Yeah. Oh shit. Let's close that.
Don't
Just say no to iTunes.
Not even one.
That's me.
Generally good. Oh, this might be. Okay, wait.
That's way too low.
Yes.
No, it doesn't.
Good.
Neither of you?
Yeah, being one.
No. Okay, so that was the first one. Minus 200 for each of them. You don't want to try? All right. Let's see. But you. Someone doesn't have to. Over here. Yes.
The series is.
No, it's her. Sorry.
Oh, Simon's Quest.
Simon's Quest. 1%. Okay. Back mouse. Okay. Back to Kyle again.
Yeah, sure.
Geek music for 400. Geek music for 400. The cartoon this is from. Please work.
All through the forest they sing out in chorus, marching along as this.
And yes, I cut it off before I said the title, so I thought of that. Any guesses, guys? Kyle? It is gummy bears.
Alright, let's do 600.
This show's theme.
Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said, "By the power of Grayskull!"
I love doing that myself. That's why I listen to it. Kyle again. Actually, let's go with a score check. Is Kyle pulling ahead of himself?
Pulling ahead is an awkward statement.
So guys, don't worry, it's still double jeopardy, but get a little bit more assertive, you know? We do have, let's see, wow, 20 M points for the winner, nice. Pretty good. 10 for second for myself. Kyle, back to you. Oh, sorry, what is the actual score?
Kyle has 3,200, Joe has 0, and David has 200.
There are daily doubles, so keep that in mind. Kyle, back to you.
Alright, let's do geek music for 800.
Oh yeah, you said that. The show this was from. I should have let that play too. Alright.
Oh god.
Kyle?
Alright, let's do the last one. Geek music for 1,000.
Alright. This one, I probably like it more than I should. You ready?
In this day and age, you could ask for more. The crime rate is high, the plugins mysterious. All police and detectives are furious, but they can't find the source of this lethally evil force. This is serious, so give me a quarter. I was a witness, get me a report.
Choices? Quite a few people knew. Oh, I know. The correct answer and which of them is the other answers is a real thing. Want to try?
The correct answer is turtle power.
Yes.
What was the
Which of the other four choices is a real thing, not just my uncomfortable love of alliteration for the most part. Reptile Rumble, Iguana Antics, Amphibian Anger, or Iguana Patrol?
iguana troll?
No. Let's see. I think we got only do two here. Over there, right in the middle there. No.
Okay. The right answer is turtle power, and the other one that actually exists is reptile rumble.
From where?
Oh, Jesus.
That's okay, I'm just messing with you. You're right. That's about like Duck Country. So we'll go with two for that. The rest are completely made up. Thank you. All right.
All right, let's do poker for 200.
Daily double. How much do you want to wager?
Oh gosh.
You have 4,000.
From Excel. How much?
Yeah.
0.
Not doomed in the Lord of the Rings. Okay. Do not raise your hand. And shit, I just remembered. Yeah, daily doubles are only for one guy, so yeah. So if you don't have any, you want to try from the choices? All right. Not even from the guess choices? I mean, you wagered 0, so yeah. Come on. All right, let's see.
What?
Final Fantasy X.
Yes.
Okay, how many people did we have who raised our hands? Just one? Okay, let's see. Yeah, we barely had anybody. Okay, so what's the correct answer?
It's not
Excellent.
They're sending out like 5 points.
I actually have to look up the spelling of Aria because I was referring to one of Diablo, not the real life one, so I had to double check that. All right. Oh, what is non-ordeal smoke? Anybody? everybody.
I love you. Good night. I love you. Thanks.
Okay.
All right, let's wing it with Star Trek Star Wars for 400.
In Deep Space Nine, the Dominion are from the... anybody? Choices. Guys, keep your hands. Keep bringing them. Sure you don't want to guess? You know, it's like it's still double jeopardy. Yes, but you know, you can definitely recover. You can wager negative money. Well, you know, the minimum 1,000. You know, so you can't get out of it. Okay, you sure? No one? Playing very cautiously, very pensive. Okay, let's. Over here, sir.
Gamma Quadrant.
Oh, sorry, I was pointing at you. Okay, we gotta forget that one. It is the Gamma Quadrant. Oh, I know. We can salvage this. Let's see.
I didn't understand it.
Okay, who raised their? You and you both did?
Yes.
Raise the hands again, and we'll figure it out. Let's see. Which one is? Even though I'm probably wrong about this, I'm trying to phrase this correctly. Which one is the right? Which one is not a Gamma Quadrant in Star Trek? Of the two of you.
Is not a what?
Is not. I'm pretty sure of those four is not a quadrant.
Oh, really? Zeta.
The Zeta one.
Okay.
One for you. One for you. It might be somewhere, but I don't think so. All right.
Let's do potpourri 400.
No, just because I just wanted to figure it out. A treasure that Indiana Jones has not looked for. The Ark of the Covenant, the Lost City of Atlantis, the Terracotta Amio Shion, the Holy Grail, or the Shankara Stones. Yes? Audience, what do you think?
No.
No? Anybody else want to guess? Scratch your Okay, that was...
It's not 50-50 chances.
Okay, let's see. Yeah. Is there anybody who has... It seems like they always be the same hands. That's what we hear. You, at the end.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Terracotta Army.
Yep. And the terra of what? Say it correctly.
What's the last one?
Hang on, wait, what am I saying?
The whole thing.
The Terracotta Army of Shion. It's all right. Yeah. Did you take one already? Please. Yes. Oh, and just to where would you look for the Lost City of Atlantis? And anybody?
Crystal Skull bullshit.
Over here.
The Adventure Day.
Yes, Beta Atlantis. If you don't mind. I don't want to make you walk everywhere, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're gonna have to start. As much as I appreciate it, I think I'm gonna have to start. Making. We'll see what we can do with it. I still have some, but we still have double jeopardy to get to. So maybe I could write vouchers, but I think. What the hell's his name? I think Nick would get mad at me.
No vouchers.
Okay, ready?
Let's continue. Potpourri for 600.
You validate parking.
Yeah. The first Terminator film takes place in. Anybody want to guess the year first before saying?
Oh, it's the year.
A year. This is a year. Oh, I suppose I should have said year. Yes. No? Okay. Hands good? No idea. Okay, let's see if we can do this right, because we've got seen lots of hands. Let's see. Jesus. Oh, boy. Okay. I couldn't quite confirm this, but in seeing the narrative, it mostly works. What is the correct answer, and what year does Terminator 2 take place in? See, at this point, like you said, we're really trying to find people who haven't gotten it at all, because that can catch up on you. Okay. Yep. Yep.
First answer is 1985.
Nope. I thought for sure, but yeah. Okay. Now anybody. Oh, back there?
First one was 1984,
Yep.
and second one 1991.
No, that's when the movie was made. Again, I tried to hint at it by saying I really looked for the hints and it's a little inconsistent. But I'll tell you the story in a minute. Let's see. Over here?
84 and 96.
96. And when I was watching it, like the arcade scene, I was like, what the hell? Where the hell's NBA Jam? It's like, come on, we don't remember how much money that game made. That should have been in the arcade scene, not Space Invaders. Yeah, we know it's really up there, you know. All right, we'll go 2 with that. And if I had slightly more, everyone knew what 1885 was. What's 1885 from? Everybody.
That should be the word part 2. That's
Really? Well, technically it is mentioned in part 2, so technically correct, yeah. The very end. We've had this letter in our possession for the past 70 years. All right. Are we still back?
Yeah, I have nobody else to be on the right. Potpourri for 800.
Not a fictional slasher villain.
Oh.
Say again? No. Audience, who is John? What movie is John Doe from?
7.
Good. Okay, so how much was that? Okay. Anybody else? Let's try. Yeah. You guys don't want to try? Okay, audience. Over here. Game, yeah. I never actually confirmed it, I just get to hear it in American sentence. No, I know who he is, yeah. Kyle again.
Alright, Potpourri for 1,000.
Kurt Russell's character in Escape from New York. Anybody? Choices. Is it Jake the Snake, Solid Snake, Snake Plissken, Jack the Needle, or Anaconda Jones? No one? Okay. Let's have some fun here. The answer and the other one played by Kurt Russell. The answer and the other one played by Kurt Russell. Anybody haven't heard from yet? Dang it. Over here again.
His name is Snake Plissken.
Yep. Say that last one.
Solid.
No, Solid Snake is from Metal Gear Solid. See, now this is kind of, eventually it's going to get to a guessing game, so one more choice. Back there, behind Crowman. Yeah.
So the first one, Snake Plissken.
Yep.
The second one, Jake the Snake.
No. Who is Jake the Snake?
Wrestler.
Excellent. We can't really go any further. The other one is Jack O'Neill. And if I had to go even further, I would by saying that's not how he actually spelled his name in the Stargate movie. They changed that for the series. So that's great. That's like stiliferous error, you know. I don't even know why I put that in.
Let's watch this penalties last.
All right.
Let's go down the board. Star Trek, Star Wars 600.
5 minutes left. Emperor Palpatine was this before his reign. Anyone? Go to responses. Was he a joint chief, a diplomat, a senator, the majority whip, or a general? He was a senator. He was. Excellent. He's on the board. Okay. I'm going to attempt it again. David. Okay. This is not a planet in Star Wars. Now this, because we can name tons of them, but of the choices. Anybody? Kessel. Kessel is a planet in Star Wars. Yes. Okay, either one of you want to try?
There you go.
All right. Who's from Mon Calamari? It's a trap. Okay. Can't give it to anything. But audience, what's the answer? Yes. We'll try and we'll figure something out. It's not that few, but maybe a little more. Next one, last one. The title given to DS9's Captain Sisko by the Bajorans. Anybody? Who? I like these things. Okay. Any of those from the choices? The prophet, the Messiah, blank, because that will be part of it. The emissary, or the minister. Any guesses, guys? All right. The correct answer. Pronounce the name of the third one and tell me where it's from.
So the correct answer is the prophet and the Kwisatz Haderach from Dune.
Nice. I should give him 5 for that. Oh, I know. This reminds me of a spelling bee from elementary school. What language is it, and what does it mean?
It's of the witch ladies who are awesome with their money tricks.
And what does it mean?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
The shortening of the way.
There you go. You're right. You're absolutely right.
I really like that, it's almost too bad Peter Berg's, when you say, I always say his name first, because when I said the director of Battleship, it's too bad he didn't get it made, because some of his concept sketches were really good, and David Lynch's version isn't horrible, it has plenty of virtues, but it'd be nice to see a really good version of Dune, and I think Peter Berg's could have been that.
Leather Speedo is all I have to say.
Yeah. The costumes are amazing. I think they really did a good job. All right, so let's see. Where are we? Pretty good considering all the hiccups and everything. What's our score at?
Pat is at 4,000. Joe is negative 2,000. David is at 0.
Is it? Actually, I'm pretty sure it's. We're just gonna for a moment. Audience, how are we doing? How are we doing so far? Pretty good? Having a good time, everybody? Okay, so yeah, we're doing pretty well, but we gotta move on to count the Final Jeopardy also. Okay, so who had negative 2,000 again? All right, so Joe will be picking now. All right, and yes, these questions are different. Okay, so go ahead. For what? 400. This is not one of the temples you visit. Capitalization. You cannot read enough time. You want to guess, or would you like to see the choices? Everybody. All right. Yes? Correct. You do not actually go there. 400. No, there's still a possibility, Playing pretty conservatively, I like this. Okay, go ahead. The game is still live. This is not a mask in Majora's Mask. Okay, yep. 1,200 Zelda. He's definitely coming back into it. God of evil and opposer of Helia in the Zelda universe. Do you happen to know right off, or choices? That was close, but I think he had it again. Okay. Audience, which is 4 and 5 from? Anybody? Let's see. I'm really trying here. Yes, he did. Yeah. Everybody's saying, come on, guys. You can't lose. You can't lose. Yeah. Over here.
God of War and Doctor Strange.
No! Wonder Woman! That's okay. Yeah. Here. We do remember, we have, oh wait, we're allowed to watch Wonder Woman, right? We don't believe in any of that, that stuff that, Hollywood considered it only for women. That was hilarious for like one night. People did actually go see that movie, right? Yeah, I hope so. It was a nice interpretation in the vein of the German philosophers Goethe, like putting it in the Greek gods and kind of like a Christian mythos and stuff. Certainly a hell of a lot better than God of War did, where the underworld becomes hell essentially, even though it wasn't. Did you need to try and Oh, excellent. Oh, cool. That's so cool. So, yes, anybody who left probably regretting it now. Thank you. Okay. And you probably answered so quickly. What was Dormammu from?
Doctor Strange.
Excellent.
From the Gorgon.
1600. Ganon's original weakness. Think about it. You know, we don't have to go choices right away. That's some kind of strategy. You ready? Choices. Yeah, Joe? Silver arrow? It is silver arrows. Since you said trying to, so that's not a guarantee, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'd like to. I had something pretty good with that, but sorry, we can't rely on it. Okay, go ahead. Ganon's alter ego in A Link to the Past. Think about it. Oh, I can do one. We're doing all right. Audience, which one is from Final Fantasy Tactics? Yes, our guy. Excellent. He's an asshole. Yes.
I believe I have 30 coming right now.
Oh, sweet. Thank you. Oh, really? It's getting competitive. What do we have?
Kyle and Joe are tied for 4,000.
Damn, that came back to that. Good plenty of chances. He did. Okay, go ahead.
Video games.
Daily double. How much do you want to wager? Now this one I am going to make you wager ahead of time. You know, you can do 0 if you want, but let's make it exciting because the game is getting exciting. Please.
I'll just do 200.
200. Boo. Just kidding. Which is considered the good game among these lists? Excellent. It is. I kind of, I can't remember if that one that was the episodic one released on Wii was actually called the trilogy, so I just decided not to call it and I said, I'll throw away the answer. But I hope it wasn't. What was the name of that series of episodic ones? Was it
Back to the Future.
Was it just Back to the Future?
Back to the Future.
Yeah, I haven't played it, but it's called Back to the Future. So yeah, I weaseled my way out of it. Marge, don't discourage the boy. We thinks it's important to learn. It separates us from the animals. Except the weasel.
Oliver, you got 14 on top of that coming.
Alrighty, yeah, I'm bad at this. Okay, now.
Video games 800.
Okay. Playing tried and true. Despite its early retirement, this system has a high ratio of good to bad games, meaning overall amount released for it, hence the early retirement, but still considered to be, quite a few, maybe not AAA, but more good than bad. Okay. Yes, yes, I believe that.
I mean, it's not the it's not the ending.
Virtual Boy is debatable. Most people agree that, if they ever figure that out, which they might, kind of like suicide batteries or something like that. Most of the games are actually pretty good, but the Sega Dreamcast is better. Pretty much any game that's not licensed or ported from something else, and it's like Project Justice, all those are really quite good. Alright, so 800, right? Yeah. Okay. Next.
Alright, video games for 12.
I did not set the timer. Alright, this is one of the most expensive games on the Sega Saturn. Okay, any guesses first? Responses. Oh, wow. Kyle?
Panzer Shipping Order?
No.
Oh, shit.
Anybody else? It's alright. Panzer Saga it is, yeah. Last I looked, it was at $500. Even more now, I believe. Okay, let's see, audience. Which is not an actual Panzer Dragoon game, audience? And what does it mean?
Well, I don't know what it means with beer.
Yeah. Anybody? You're right. We'll give one of each. Just for that. Anybody happen to know what fear means? Over here. Excellent. Okay, one, and then back there also. Yeah, that was an example of going from Rammstein. I'm allowed to like metal in video games and everything, right? I actually had to look it up how to spell it because German is not quite phonetic. So I always assumed it was spelled with an F, but it's not. It's a good song. Oh, F. All right. Let's see. Deducted, and you got the points. You got the next one. All right. Go ahead. I can video games. All right. Which of these awful accessories isn't on the NES? I'm glad no one heard that. Because I did. Yep.
Is it the roller rocker?
No, the roller rocker is on the NES. All right. Anybody else? Okay. Let me see. Actually, it seems this is pretty obvious, so we'll just go for one. Anybody we haven't heard from? Yeah, over there.
Activator.
What is that? What is the activator? I mean, do you know what it is, or you just were guessing?
Because I know all the other.
Oh, that's good enough. That's something we would also know. It's a really poor quality virtual, playing simulator, kind of like the Wii U, the Wii would have. Okay, we got the points off. I almost thought about trying it for like Streets of Rage 2, but that's like, well, I'm sure there's better analogies than pizza and ice cream, but that if anything could ruin that game, that probably could have found a way to do it, because they advertised it prominently with it. Alrighty, okay. Yeah. Okay. Video Games 2000. The N64 was known as this during development. Choices.
Project Reality.
It is Project Reality. Okay, let's have a little more fun with this. Which one? Audience, let's see hands. Actually, no, it's okay. You can, it doesn't. We're not going to take anything. Maybe we should. Maybe next time we will think about that, taking points away. But I'm doing so much improvising already. So let's see. Which one is not an actual code name, and which one is from a movie? Anybody? For 2. Yes.
Shark is not the real one from Project Destiny's from a movie?
Do you happen to know which movie?
Don't.
It's all right. It's from The Core. Not a bad movie, but
it wasn't a good movie either.
a lot like Journey. They tried their best. I give it inherent points, just like 2012, because they're not stupid and they say, "Let's get the scientists to fix this," Which 2012 has a lot of problems also, but at least it focuses mostly on the science. All right. All right, score check.
Kyle has 5,600, Joe 5,400, David -600.
Okay. I appreciate it. Sure. All right, it's not out of the woods, nothing out of the possibility yet. Okay, Kyle.
Let's do Geek Music for 400.
Geek Music for 400. Audience, please. From this TV series. Inspector Gadget. Okay.
I spent my childhood doing preventive things.
Which series has a character named Krulos, voiced by Frank Welker? Which series has a character named Krulos, voiced by Frank Welker? Megatron, I suppose I should say. You know, in case someone doesn't know his name. Yes?
Dino Riders?
It is Dino Riders. The evil General Krulos, which is an awesome name. It's almost as good as Chris Latta's in Inhumans. He voices a guy named Decompose. Awesome show if you've never seen Inhumanoids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and for a little really bad humor, as generous as I am to geeks, you know, we had tons of like moral certitude and certainty when it came to the Bayformers. Also not as bad as people say they are. And they really kind of tipped the hand when they said, okay, you got Peter Cullen. How come you're not going to get Chris Latta to voice Starscream? Why couldn't they get Chris Latta?
He died.
Yes, and is that something we should have known before we said asinine statements like that? Not us, but you know, we rep geeks, you know, so I guess it would just take any chance to rip on Michael Bay, so. Yeah.
He doesn't look exposure.
Hot. It's really hot in here.
The one, without getting to, most people at least agree that the music is excellent in movies. You know, I think most people agree. I think they're quite good. All right.
Heat music for 800.
All right. Ready?
I ran a fan site once.
To be honest, I'm actually a little disappointed because since that game just we have music. That was one of the names earlier, Kenji Suzuki, and the other ones. What he was able to do with the NES sound chip for, like, Kid Icarus and Metroid. I don't think I'm wrong to expect something a little bit more magical than we got in Earthbound. I know that's a minority opinion, but you know. Yuzo Koshiro never disappointed. He could work magic with the NES sound chip and the Super Nintendo sound chip. Yeah. As long as we agree, Yuzo Koshiro's awesome.
Yeah. All right, heat music for 1200.
All right. From this game series. Yes, I am. All right, let's see. The name, oh yeah, damn it, I should have gone to choices. No. I fucked that up, guys. Okay, we'll give it to the audience in this case. The name of the series and its Japanese name.
Yeah. It's called Paranormal.
Excellent. Sorry about that, guys. I kind of had a brain fart there. Speaking of Yuzo Koshiro's brilliance, you know, when you had like for Terminator on the NES, which was like,
That's someone from Streets of Rage. That's why I wasn't sure. I was really nervous about it.
yeah, actually, I fucked that.
1600.
Yeah, it's getting tough there. 1600. Still plenty of chances for the audience. From this Nickelodeon series. Oh wow, you seem confident. Let's see.
It's kind of strange. You look at the lazy rain. I guess it's your man. Or have you picked your target yet? Yes,
Yes. It is not salute your shorts. Okay. That's 16. Let's see, we got quite a few. Let's have some fun with this. The name of the series, the band, and there's a part in the song where people debate what he's actually saying. Can you do at least two of those? Yes?
The part before Hey Sandy is Adventures of Pete and Pete.
Okay.
And
for one more, does anybody happen to know the name of the band that wrote that?
I used to listen to him, I can't remember.
It's Polaris.
was hoping it was going to be something like, who's playing Arnie, the strongest man in the world? Something like that. I could answer that.
All right, so back to Kyle again.
Easy for 2,000.
I'll recognize it, but still, you know, I can't set the
Oh, yeah.
Definitely some throwaway ones in there. David, don't want to take a chance? Okay, let's see, who do we have from the audience? Over here.
Mask.
It is a mask. What's the name of the villain?
I have no idea.
Miles Mayhem, that's alright. Great show. I believe most of it is available on YouTube. Yeah, last time I looked at it. Yeah. It's one of those series that isn't that long. Corporate 400. This actor has not played the Joker. It is not Cesar Romero. Anybody else? Yes?
Christian Bale.
It is Christian Bale. First that, who's Cesar Romero, audience?
The original Batman series.
You can get these, right? Yeah. Okay. I once heard a great argument from an angry video game nerd about who is actually the most badass Joker. Do you want to know why Cesar Romero is?
Mustache?
Yeah, he didn't even shave his mustache. That's how much of a badass he is. You know, he don't give up, you know? And that's a compelling case. And some people, not incorrectly, have said as good of an actor as Jack Nicholson is, he's essentially just playing Jack Nicholson. It's true. You know, I mean, Death Battle and all that, I mean, when you put him next to Daniel Day-Lewis, I think we know who really is the better actor, you know, when it comes to, not that he's a bad actor, but, you know, Daniel Day-Lewis is like on another level, you know. We do know who Daniel Day-Lewis is, right? Yep. Okay, good. I don't know, you know.
Yeah, he was in the one.
Okay,
he was the villain in
that one.
Star Trek, Star Wars 4.
400. Another name for Count Dooku in Attack of the Clones. Choices?
Darth Tyrannus.
Excellent. Okay. Audience. Yes. Audience, which one's made up, and how much can you recite from number one? Who wants to try that? Which one's completely made up? Let's start with that. Maybe, I don't think we've heard from you at all. So, which one's completely made up?
Periodontitis.
Excellent. That would be a mean Darth, you know. And can you do some of the meme lines?
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise? I'm sure it's been a story that the Jedi tell you or something. That's about as much.
Darth Plagueis the Wise was a dark lord of the Sith who was so powerful. And I don't know if I can do that. I'm trying to get my voice right. Again, much like Dave Warmers, Ian McDermott had a lot of fun and he excels in those movies. So even if you hate them, you should admire the movies just for that, I would say. It was a good anecdote once because he was actually 30 in Return of the Jedi, so another 30 years later he had to put less makeup on or something like that. It's a funny story. I also remember that, kind of going part and parcel of that earlier question, when I read the novelization, I would go who is this, some upstart senator who's going and declaring himself emperor? And then they go oh, by the way, he's a dark Jedi master. I'm oh, I get it now, you know, and he actually annoyed me a lot the first time I saw Return of the Jedi, but now it's You, like your father, are now mine. It's like, my God, that's awesome. Or when he laughs after Vader throws the lightsaber, he's having a lot of fun in that. All right, we got the squad list. All right, thank you, audience. Okay, back to
Star Trek Star Wars 8.
Star Trek Star Wars 8. Daily Double. What do we have for Daily?
I think it's still negative.
Okay, you're negative 400, so I believe in the case of Daily Doubles, you can do 2,000.
Well, it's a good thing this is a Star Trek question because I'm bet a big fat 0 on this.
You can do. You sure? You can do up to 2,000 even though you're negative. Because you will get the multiple choice. You don't want to even try and guess.
No, I have no clue.
All right.
I'll give you a name, but it's going to be.
This goes right to the audience, so. All right. Except we're not going to daily double your points. Okay.
Yeah, this is all French tonight.
Oh boy, how many hands did we have? I see, I never looked at the right times. Okay. Why don't you stand up? We'll try something a little different than when we raise their hand, if you don't mind. Please. I'm just trying to, that way I can make sure I get everybody.
Look at this.
Yeah, sorry. Okay.
Look to the right.
Okay, let's see. The answer.
Sorry.
And
If he looks right,
the answer, one that isn't in Star Trek, and the actor who played him. Anything else you can tell me about another one?
Okay, Armus is the correct answer.
Yep.
And Locutus is Borg from the.
Who played him? That's
Oh, that was
the actor's name. What's his name? Okay, Ricky Renzel. Ricky Renzel. You want to try and say it? Okay, do you want to?
I can't.
You can do another one if you're not sure about who he is.
Locutus was
it's the easiest guy.
Correct. Okay, one. Yeah, we'll go one there. And what's Leviathan from?
Yes. Thank you.
No idea. Raise your hand.
I know. That's
Or someone else, sorry. No one?
He's got that.
Literally everything.
What is Leviathan from? Over there, black shirt. Technically, but we're going for science fiction. I don't know even I'm not sure even the biggest, edgiest edgelord would say science fiction for that. Yep.
Final Fantasy.
No. Yep.
Oh, that's of the Old Republic.
Is it really? Yeah. I was going for Mass Effect. Unfortunately, I don't believe they give their official name, so I think they're just referred to as Leviathan.
That was the name of the man in his ship. That was my
okay. That's all right. Okay. Where were we over there? No one got the daily double, and you picked it. Okay, so back to you.
Star Trek Star Wars 12.
This is not a planet in Star Trek.
You know this moose. Do I? Screw it, I know this.
All right. Dan Tween is correct.
Why
Oh, I got a good one for this.
is the S capitalized?
Cardassia. Why would the want to invade Cardassia? Who did that in for the audience?
Because they're sick of living with Cardassia.
Which people from which homeworld in the Star Trek series invaded Cardassia?
They wear earrings.
Raise your hands if anybody happens to be.
Can I guess?
No, I'm just trying to get the audience in. Because I was hoping like someone would pronounce it wrong, but then yet that is the correct way of spelling it, I'm told. So, and I just gave it away kind of. Yeah, it is Kronos, and that's a line from Deep Space Nine, which turns out to actually be a very prudent move, all things considered. It doesn't quite work out, but you know, it's kind of like people used to say the phrase Klingon intelligent. That's a little bit of an oxymoron, but you know. There's General Chang from Star Trek 6 and maybe like a couple of others, but in general the Klingons aren't too bright, you know. We have seen Star Trek 6, right? Boba Fett has this type of armor. Thank you. Mandalorian, correct. Okay. Okay, let's see. I really gotta have someone to keep their hands up too. I got one.
We're doing
You know, I can't actually think of a good one as the audience. Sorry, guys.
What do you call people that live in Missouri?
No. Sorry.
I am a Missourian.
I know.
We can recover.
Maybe we should.
Wait, you know the answer to that one.
Oh, nice.
No, you want to go double jeopardy.
You're on normal Jeopardy.
I didn't want to risk going through and
Oh yeah.
I'm actually now my person not cooperating.
So result is out 3. It's on contact color.
Oh, there, who were we with?
Okay, let's close it out. Star Trek, Star Wars 2000.
Hey.
Okay, never mind.
Anybody?
Nope.
I think I do have something for the audience for this one. Okay.
Are you talking about like in this?
In the show, yeah, not the actor.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna take a long shot because I'm losing anyway. John Luke would be French, wouldn't it?
Yep, and he's from France. Don't go yell at staff offs for any of this, but I'm going to be a little political here. Tell me something fucked up about 3 or 5. Do you want to try?
Something fucked up, like just in
Well, I was hoping people would recognize from the name, you know, like pillaging of Africa, something like that. You know, I just thought of it. You know, can you tell me? Well, it's just the thing is, there's so many fucked up things that they did to the people in both countries. So I was hoping that
They jailed Justin.
Good. 3 for you. And let's see if we can do one other thing for that. Which country is Rhodesia now? Anybody? Victoria Falls is there. Maybe that would help.
Victoria Falls is
No. Anybody want to try?
As in just out of Democratic Republic of the Congo?
No.
Yep.
Liberia?
No, that's way up there. It is Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe.
Sorry, I like to get everybody.
No, you're
The fucked up thing for that would be that that asshole Dylan Roof had a flag with him when he killed those people, and then I read like 3 books on them, and boy, it's like they were in a contest with South Africa in many ways. We've heard some messed up stuff in South Africa. Rhodesia was like in a competition with them.
I got 2 glasses, so let's go back to happiness.
Yes. All right.
How many points am I at?
Oh, point score?
Kyle, 8,400. Joe, 4,200. David, 2,000. We're all in
Potpourri, 800. King Arthur's sword. It is Excalibur. Okay. Audience. Thank God. Which one is... Oh, I just realized they technically all are. Which one has existed... No, that doesn't work either. Which one's from Celtic mythology? Over here?
It's the yellow one?
Catlabong, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced. But. Initially I was going to say, like, which one is not from a video game? And then, yeah, you know, they clearly were flipping through the books when they came up with that one from Titus, you know. The Catlabong, it's his ultimate weapon. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced. All right. Not one of the Oh shit! It came mostly from watching, from what my friends had told me, and most people say, you know, the what's that thing called, the blank blank arcade. Some people had told me the people, it was kind of like silent until super, you know, and I was trying to find a way to reconcile that, like to make it so that we would get more answers, and I thought this worked pretty well. You know, but it's experimental. Feedback, like always, you know, we want to hear it.
69.
Not a hero of Greek mythology. We'll have something for the audience here, because this is fun. Not a hero of Greek mythology. 5.
How much is this 1200?
16?
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1. Who is it? And pronounce his name. Anybody want to have it? Oh, I've heard from pretty much everybody. Dang it. Okay. Why don't you pick someone? Because it seems like several people know.
You way in the back. I don't think we've heard from you. Yes, you. That's looking behind you.
Siddhanta and Kukon.
Yes. Yeah. I had a lot of fun with my students around St. Patrick's Day, and I had to think about that for a second because they said so many wrong ones, you know. The Irish Hercules, essentially, and also grossly misrepresented in Final Fantasy Tactics. You know. What?
Is he getting...
Oh, yes. Trying to jump ahead a bit here. We're still got time, so we're doing well. Okay, yep. No one answered it, so that was you. Actually, wait, the last one was the Rembrandt one, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah,
Okay, so
okay, I'm trying to...
200? 2,000? All right. Not, oh, this is fun. Not an English mistranslation. Now think about this, because there's plenty of mythology and legends about this, you know, so take your time on this. Anybody? Okay, well, we got quite a few, so we got to make this harder. Let's see. We'll go with 4. The answer, and tell me why it is not an English mistranslation. Anybody? Oh, over there?
Use 3D bar.
Yes.
Final Fantasy 4, and it's because I don't know the guy's name, but basically he just took the Japanese text and wrote a script entirely himself, pretty much. Like he basically just wrote whatever he thought would work. Like he was trying to translate it, but he couldn't did it right.
That sounds like
we're pretty close, but I need one more thing. What does the word spoony or spooning mean?
Dim-witted, like head in the clouds sort of thing.
Yeah, close enough. It's. I'm pretty sure. I never actually confirmed it, but I do believe that people do think that because it's a silly-sounding word that's not an English word, but it's kind of archaic, but it is a word. And curly, I thought some people might pick. Does anybody happen to know what the actual translation should have been in Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow? Kali. They actually translated Kali as curly.
It is gold.
Game Boy Advance game. All right.
Great movies for.
400. Yeah. Tony Montana and Scarface is from
Cuba.
He is from Cuba. Kyle again. Playing very tried and true. Gozer in Ghostbusters is a god in this mythology. Sumerian is correct. Let's see here. How many do we have in the audience who... Oh, actually, I should ask the question first. Yeah, let's see. Can we name at least 2 significant figures from at least one of the first 3? Anybody want to try that? Let's make that 3. Yep.
Over Tiamat and Bale from Babylonian.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I just asked for one good. Yeah. I guess I thought you might pick the Iranian one, you know. So Iranian is Ahura Mazda, Rostam, a few other ones. Rostam shows up occasionally, and or maybe I should have had you try and pronounce Zoroastrianism. That's fun, you know. Okay, it's not actually that hard, but it looks messy. Okay.
1200.
Here's the one. Careful. Think about this. The name of the planet in Avatar, James Cameron's Avatar.
I thought that was so quiet.
Yep.
Pandora.
It is not Pandora. Is it? Anybody want to guess? It is not Pandora. Like I said, planet.
Yeah.
You'll see. And do you want to guess? Okay. Audience? Let's see. Sure.
I think it's Europa.
It is not Europa. Europa is a moon.
Beta character.
It is not Beta Carotene. It is Polyphemus, yes. Did they serve
as the moon?
Yep. It's a little
But
bit.
that's where they go.
Yes,
like,
that's the trick. Yeah, but it's not quite as explicit as, like, you know, how people debate Forest Moon of Endor, but it's a little tiptoey, but it has been established that the sequels are going to refer to it, so I thought it was at least close enough that it comes out. Do we agree Pandora is the moon? Yeah. It's a little sneaky, but, you know, I thought it was pretty good.
You warned about it.
What?
You warned that it was a trick question.
Yeah, I kind of did.
You get a coin?
Not technically a trick question, but I thought about it. Yeah, like I said, feedback. Okay, now 1600. The fictional country that is mentioned in Commando, Predator, and Die Hard 2.
Well, that is going with that.
All right. Yep.
Valverde.
It is Valverde. Nice. Anybody, audience, anybody know where that's from, number 1, and who threatened to quit over it from the series, if anybody happens to know that, or one or the other, because that's always a fun story. You guys are good, yeah.
Actually, I don't know the answer to this one.
Of the 3 we have.
I only see one.
Can you put the other 2, do you want to know?
I have a fact about it, but it's not the answer to your question. Valverde is a pro cyclist. But
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, interesting, I didn't know that. Go ahead then.
All right, Carbambia is from Transformers, the original animated series, and Casey Kasem quit the show over that because of
The obvious prejudice.
the obvious prejudice against Middle Eastern people because he is Lebanese.
Yeah, it's a little, sometimes hard to hear in his name, but if you say Casey Kasem, then it's a little bit easier. Yeah.
They weren't unsold about the name.
Yeah. I know, it's one of those things that it's like, they clearly weren't thinking.
I knew everything else about it.
Excellent. Okay. 2 grand. Another name for the aliens in the Alien franchise. Anybody want to try? Choices. Yeah. It is the Xenomorphs. We already got number 1. The intellectual property that 2, 4, or 5, 2 of them are from. Sure.
Okay, 2 is from StarCraft, and fifth one is from God, what's the name? Blade Runner. Thank you.
Yes. You got me. I wasn't thinking of that because I was thinking I should have said supreme aliens or something. But I was. Anybody know what I'm referring to? If I refer to like supreme alien beings, what number 2 is referring to? It's a book.
A book? Who reads books?
Everybody. You don't?
No, I read that.
That's from Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke, The Overlords. But you got me, so good. Did I get it right?
That's what I want to say.
Okay, now it's time for Final Jeopardy, because we're almost at the end anyway. Okay, score check.
All right, Kyle is sitting at 8,800, Joe at 7,800, and David at 3,600. Catch up.
It's hot. It's really hot.
I'll be dumping the water on the litter.
All right, I think this will be it. Okay. And of course, oh yeah, I forgot the important part where we need the pen and paper, but forget it. Okay, so what we can do is I'll just come over and you can whisper to me. Okay. Oh, we did just have it. Okay. Yeah, I had them in, and I was all ready. Oh, yeah, that works. That's even better. So you're going to whisper the answer to Dustin. Okay, ready? Oh, yeah, bids. Okay, so David is betting how much? He's everything?
You're betting everything?
Yeah, might as well.
All right.
Okay, Joe is betting
5,000.
5,000. And Kyle, what was the score again?
8,800, 7,800, 3,600.
And then what increments can I bid?
We got it.
We're a little
behind.
zero.
Zero.
Okay. Bold move. So when you thought about it, dun 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 dun. I haven't seen Shin Godzilla, so I don't know about this one. Name 3 or more of the monsters that Godzilla has faced in his movies.
Jesus Christ.
Everybody, I can't probably do it better than me.
Doesn't matter, but
Did at least one person whisper to it then? Or does he's not going to try and answer? Anybody know?
I have enough.
Or do you want to come down and write them down? In this case, we will accept, 1, 2, whatever, We're looking for 3 or more. Names to like help it out. Any ideas at all? Or no?
I know one, but
okay. I am going to need at least 2 or more.
Thank you, audience. We're just wrapping this up. Hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the rest of the whisper it to him, and then in case he does want to, he's able to think of one. I need 2 or more.
Number 2 or 3?
The more the better. I guess that's, I'm kind of improvising here. Okay, David, besides the one you have? Okay, what do we have from Joe? And who?
I've been 0.
Oh, Hydra, yeah. Well, wait, you wouldn't Mothra?
Yeah, right.
Can you beat him? Can you think of more than one extra one or no? Hydra? I told you I messed it up. Okay, so how many points does he get? Is it enough for Joe to win the game? Because he got it.
If you got it.
Well, how many did you guess?
We improvised.
We only get 2.
Two.
So 3 on the board.
Yeah.
Kyle's.
Okay, then.
Because I got picked up on that question too.
I'm not the one writing the middle.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be a stick there.
All right, well, Kyle wins then.